Welcome, my peace, my peoples. Please like, comment, subscribe, share the video. It would be greatly appreciated from the bottom of my heart, my peace, my peoples. So let's talk about Shameless. I missed last week's episode because there's been a lot of drama going on, but I caught up. So let's talk about Shameless Season 8, Episode 9. OMG. So we get Ford. Ford is going around, pregnating women, and he has a bunch of kids. He done impregnated Fiona's neighbors, and he has all his girlfriends around and whatever. And he didn't want nothing to do with Fiona because, she's complicated. He's complicated. He's best friends with all his exes, which that's a plus and a minus at the same damn time. And then on top of that, he's fathering all these children, but he's not actually, he's like, I guess, he's a sperm donor, so he's not gonna probably be in raising these kids' life, but everybody know who he is, where he's from, so he's probably gonna be a part of the children's life, even though it seems like he might not be. And so we get Frank is, doing his thing. He made money last episode, bringing his drugs in over the border, and bringing, the fugitives or the people that's trying to go to Canada so they can have residency and can be considered citizens so they don't get deported. But this trip, it didn't go so well. Frank got a new van. He got rid of the Ford. He got rid of the red car. He got a van because he's trying to up his money. And guess what happens? They get caught. For some reason, Frank got lost. Is Frank mind playing tricks on him? He brought a bunch of people last episode without any problem near the river where the water was, and this time he wasn't able to. What happened? What happened to his map? Is he losing something? What's good? And so then the Border Patrol of Canada, the police or whatever, they see them, they spot them, and they're chasing them. And Frank has a guy that's right next to him that won't leave his side. And so, they get caught by the police, the Canada police or whatever, Canadian police or whatever. So they get caught, and guess what happens? They're about to go to jail, and they hit a deer, a moose, and the cops are knocked out. So Frank jumps out. So does the guy he was trying to smuggle over, and the airbags blew, whatever. I thought, why didn't they just go? Why didn't Frank retrieve his money and his drugs? I wonder why he didn't do that, and why they didn't just go and try to uncuff themselves. But I guess they didn't want to wake the police up or whatever. But does the police people have any of Frank's information? Like, what's good? But anyways, Frank ain't doing it no more. He's done with smuggling people over. So him and this guy, he's a professor, he's a teacher, he's a decent guy. He calls Frank like a Boy Scout leader. I'm like, he's like, what do you mean soldier? You're a Boy Scouts leader. I'm like, OMG. And so they break into this house. The guy doesn't want to break into the house. He was like, the door is probably open. This is Canada. So the door was open. They get an axe and they see a horse, and they break it loose or whatever. But then there's a little girl, and she was like, yo, you can't steal my horse or whatever. And she's yelling daddy, and Frank punches her right in the face. I couldn't believe it. But do you expect any different from Frank? When Frank back is up against the wall, anybody can get it. So the guy that was with Frank or whatever, he was like, I don't know how to ride a horse, and they was holding the saddle and shit like that. And so Frank was like, don't you, it's the same thing like riding a camel. Frank is it's such a typical statement. He was like, I never rode a camel in my life. I like to die laughing. I was like, no, Frank didn't. When Frank punched that little girl, I was like, yo, he's wrong for that. So anyways, they get in the way. They end up falling off the horse. Frank's companion ends up breaking his ankle or spraining his ankle or something. They fall asleep. Frank takes some of his money and bounce and make it back to the United States, back to the bar to get some drinks. And he's about to get it because he didn't bring back his friends' drugs, their medication. So that part's over. And so we get Ian and Trevor. So we got Ian. Ian is not all over Fiona anymore. He has a new cause. He has something to fight. So it seems like Ian needs to have something to do. He needs to be busy. And first he was busy going after Fiona, because she didn't want, the church, the homeless shelter next to her building. Now he has a new cause because last episode, he went to go rescue, a church where, they was trying to, do an exorcism to get, the homosexual feelings out of the people, whatever. And so, and one of the little kids told, Ian and Trevor what was going on. So he went to the church. He did a big thing, and it got many thousands of views on YouTube. And so now that's his new cause. He's on YouTube arguing with people about, Jesus loves gays, Jesus loves this and all this other stuff. So he has a new cause, like, so now he's focused. So he has something else to distract him from being mad at Fiona. He got a new cause. So it seems like Ian has to be busy. If he has an idle mind, or he doesn't have any drama or anything going on in his life, that's when he could probably tick off on the people that are close to him, because he needs some type of excitement, some type of adventure. And boy, he has it, because now he's going around fighting at these churches with these rallies and things like that, having protests, walking up in the church with his homeless shelter kids and things like that. And, but he was embraced by a pastor and a priest or whatever. They want Ian to be a part of their congregation, basically tutoring and tutoring, actually being a part of like a counseling section with teens or young people that are struggling with their identity and people being hard on them. So Ian has a cause and he's doing that. So now he's just walking up into churches like he's gangster. I remember a couple of seasons ago when Ian and his other boyfriend that lived out, Mandy's brother, I think it was Mandy's brother, when they beat up the guy in the church. I mean, they went in. So it's nice to see that Ian is dialing down on the violence, because Ian can get to violence real quick, fast, in a hurry, without nothing given. So he goes up to this church. He's arguing at this priest. The priest comes outside and he ends up, fainting. And, Ian, he's an EMT, so he saves his life. And the guy's looking at him. And so I know that's going to go viral on his little thing that he's doing now with arguing with people about, religion. And so Ian, saves his life, gives him CPR, gives him mouth to mouth. I bet that priest would want mouth to mouth, so a sinner to him saved his life. So is that person still a sinner to him? Or is that person has a gift from God, gave them to actually save him? So basically, and he has a humble heart to save this priest that is actually, being derogatory and calling them, demons, basically, because they don't fit into, the priest society. So Ian gives him mouth to mouth, and the guy wakes up, the priest wakes up, and he says, "Thank God," and he just looks up. So I hope one of the kids recorded that. So Ian's on a mission, and then Ian actually gets Trevor back, because Trevor is so in awe of Ian because of his new fight, his new thing, and especially he's not fighting with his sister that really doesn't really make any sense when they can get another building, and they did get another building. So it was all for nothing. But Trevor's saying that, "Oh my God, Ian, I wish I had somebody like you when I was growing up. I wish I had somebody like you. You're this and that." So he's kind of turned on, and he's feeling Ian, and they end up doing the do. So I wonder if they're gonna be back together. And so now it seems like things are going right for Ian. Is he gonna keep it on the sane path? Or is he gonna mess it up, or is he gonna get himself locked up or in trouble or lose his job by what he's doing out here in society, trying to help the youth and preach against, hate, or calling people demons because, of their sexual desires? So we'll see what happens with that situation. And so we get Fiona and this dude Ford. So Ford ends up inviting Fiona on a date, kind of like a date, but he was like, just show up. Fiona meets all his exes and all that other good stuff. And she's feeling like Fiona's feeling him, and she likes him. She's attracted to him. He's not a bad looking guy as well, and he has confidence. So Fiona's feeling that. And plus, Fiona hasn't had sex in a minute, since she got off of Tinder. So she hasn't been really having sex, and she wants some affection. She wants some love. And she goes with him, and she gets a phone call that, one of the roofer guys fell off the roof. He goes with her, and basically, he's kind of like supporting her. So it seems like he's feeling Fiona now. And Because at first he was like, oh, she's complicated. Well, he's complicated with all his exes and all these kids. He's a sperm donor, all this stuff going on with him. And so she was just like, yo, you don't invite me somewhere and then I'm chilling around with your exes and you ignore me. You don't do something like that. And he was like, what are you giving me, an ultimatum? She was like, well, you don't do shit like that. And she walks away. So it seems like Fiona is going to be end up hooking up with him. I think it might be not a good idea, but it seems like he's calm and he's sane, but he might have some demons, because every time Fiona picks a guy, he has some demons that she don't know about. But it seems like this time she's knowing about some stuff, him being a sperm donor and being best friends with his exes. And when you're best friends or you're really good friends with your exes where you can still hang out and still chill, that says something about you. That says that, you don't do no dirt to them, and you actually can keep a relationship outside of having a intimate relationship. And now that you're friends, and your ex-partner still wants to be friends with you, that says a lot about you. That says that you got good character, and they speak good of you, because it's something when someone speaks negative of you that is your ex, but you actually have your exes speaking good of you. So that's cool, and we'll see what happens with that situation. But I don't know. I guess Fiona just got to get to know him a little bit more. But she jumped and she kissed him first on the last episode, so it seems like she might not be using her head. She might just be going with emotions, and she likes him, and plus she hasn't had any physical contact with a man in a minute. So, and also she's thinking about moving out on her own and getting her own apartment. Is that actually going to happen? Is Fiona actually going to be able to leave the family house? And she's actually going to be able to leave her brothers and her sisters, because right now her house is packed with mad people, with tons of people. So we're going to see if that actually happens, because is something terrible going to happen where Fiona can't go back? Is something going to happen with Carl, or Debbie and her baby? Or what about Liam? But because Carl is going back to whatever, military school or whatever. So is that actually going to happen where Fiona can actually live on her own and actually break away from her family? Or is that not going to be a good idea? Because Frank is being dependable now, but you know how Frank gets. And right now Frank is out of work and don't have a car, and he's out of money, and he can't find a job because people are discriminating against him because of his age, so, and lack of experience. So we'll see what happens with that situation. And then she has Deb, trying to find work, and Deb has Fran. But I think Fiona's ready to live her life. She's ready to see if she can have an actual relationship. She owns a building, so I think she can do both. Look out for the family and also live on her own. But will she self-sabotage that, or will Ford sabotage that? And would her neighbor Nessa, like right now she's cool with Nessa and her girlfriend. They like her now. They're both pregnant. That shit is crazy. Do you think, with her dating Ford, is that going to be an issue or a problem? So we'll see what happens with that situation. But Fiona, so far, she's doing good. She's keeping up the house. She's fixing it, the apartment complex or the building that she owns. Things are actually kind of like going well for her. So that's cool. And then we have Lip. Lip is still trying to help out Ewan, and it's not really working right now because Ewan is behind bars. And so he meets with an attorney and all that other good stuff, and he's trying to help him out, but the lawyer was like, put some commissary on his books. And so that's when we get Charlie. Charlie comes up and want to talk to Lip, because Lip knows what's going on, that Charlie got a baby on the way and it's about to go down. And Lip is actually keeping a secret about it. And that's really hard for him to do that, because he's always in somebody else's business. And so like on last episode, you see, Lip going to different counselors. And the lady counselor was like, yo, I don't want to hear none of that bullshit. I want to deal with you. And so that's what Lip is trying to figure out. He is kind of getting it that he has to work on himself and not everybody else, because he's being codependent on everybody else's problem. That's what his I think Brad, sponsor was telling him as well. And also, you're telling that too as well. So it seems like Lip is trying to get his shit together, where he focuses on his problems and don't let everybody else problems affect him and be a part of his life, and just focus on his situation. So I am happy that Lip has been sober for a year. Like, yay, Lip, go. And so Lip is still, sleeping with the girl at the shop or whatever. They're still having rough, crazy sex and all this other stuff. And then they're about to get into it and about to have sex. And guess who shows up? Sierra shows up because she finds out that Charlie has a baby on the way. And he left her at the dinner table to go get his baby delivered, to have his baby delivered or whatever. And so, the wild sex girl, she gets mad and she gets upset, but she doesn't show. And she was like, we just fuck buddies. And so the next day when he comes to the shop, she's like, it's all cool, there's no strings attached. And her niece says to him, like, you really fucked up. And Lip knows it. So I think and then Lip, so then, Charlie goes over there to talk to Lip about, hey, please get Sierra back in my life. Please help me have Sierra back. She respects you. She listens to you and all that other stuff. So come through for me and go talk to her. So Lip goes to talk to her. And guess what? Lip ends up sleeping with her, but he realized it's a mistake because he don't want to be in her shit no more. He don't want to be in the drama. And he actually realized that sexy sex freak girl at his job, the body shop, is actually somebody he's kind of feeling, because she's watching her niece. She don't have no drama. Only drama she has is beating his ass while they having sex. That's it. So he feels like he did make a mistake with that, so that's why he leaves. He was like, I'm not gonna be with you all night. And plus, Sierra only had sex with Lip to get back at Charlie because she's hurt. And so we'll see what happens. We'll see if Charlie finds out about Lip. But I want to see Lip work on himself. Once Lip work on himself, he can be that great inventor. Because when he was going to college and everything, he was in the crowd with a lot of people that was on the same level as him with knowledge. You know what I mean? Like, that was smart, and he was working in different types of situations, computers. He was dealing with people like on the upscale, that he was able to bring something to the table with his engineering and stuff like that. So we'll see if Lip ever gets back to that. And I don't know what's going on with his former sober coach, sobriety coach or whatever. I didn't see him this episode, but anyways, so then we have Deb is, she's trying to find a job. She's taking sexy pictures and all this other stuff to get a welding job online. She got a period. She's so happy. She took like 15 pregnancy tests last episode. She took the pill. That's how nervous she was that she didn't want to have a baby. And so, another baby. And so, she gets a little welding gig. She found out she got pregnant. I mean, that she's not pregnant. And then she has a job, as a dog walker, babysitting a dog. She was like $40 a day. And so, she finds out that this dog can sniff for drugs. She was like, I think this dog used to be a drug dog or whatever. So then she finds some weed. She's walking and she finds some weed or whatever, and she brings it to the guy that she did ecstasy with, and he's gonna sell the drugs, and they go her right there. And now she realized that the dog can scope out weed. She ended up finding like 3 keys in that car right there. She's doing her goddamn thing. But hopefully it doesn't come back and bite her in the ass, because the meth came back and bit the family in the ass. So she has so now she's able to pay for her tuition, because she owed $2,300. When she went down to the tuition office, whatever, the lady was like, I can't help you, blah blah blah. But she was able to use some charisma and be like, yo, she saw the lady with her grandson's picture, and she was like, yo, I'm a struggling mother, my baby father left me and all this other stuff. So the lady gave her a break. She came the next day with the money, because now she knows the dog can sniff out drugs. So her and Fran are on is that a bloodhound type of dog or whatever? So anyways, her and the dog is out there making some cheddar, and the dude with the ecstasy is helping her sell it. So hopefully he doesn't come back, because DCYF will be on her again, and plus she got to come up with rent, and she has to come up with food. So then we move on to Carl. Carl is still with Sierra. Sierra's crazy. She's nuts. She doesn't want him to leave. She wants to be around him 24/7. She's messing up his Uber job. She's just all over him, and she doesn't really want him to go back to military camp. She's doing this documentary on him, and somehow, someway, she's going to be a downfall to Carl. Hopefully she doesn't go up there to the military school and cause, a problem. So anyways, Carl's thinking like, what? I just want her to calm down, because he's in love. And he talks to his brothers and everything about it. And he talks to them feeling like, yo, I want to be with her because I don't want to end up like everybody else, because everybody else in the house has messed up relationships. They end up hurting people. They end up, it's just a no-go. So he really wants this to work with Sierra, but he doesn't understand. Sierra is just like his mother. And so it's not going to work. It's going to be terrible because she seems like she has some issues, mental issues, just like his mom did. So it seems like Carl might end up like Frank if he stays around with, if he stays with Cassie, because she's kind of mental and she's messing. He needs to focus and concentrate. And he even goes to get advice from the bar, and everybody was like, yo, you need to focus on school. And so then, that's what V was saying to him. And so then Cassidy shows up to the bar, and she's like, what are you guys talking about? And V was like, we're talking about school, that Carl needs to focus on school. And she was like, and she runs off. And then Mo and the rest of and the bar patrons that are always there is like, that kid is fucked. And so then we have Kev and V. They're doing good or whatever, because Kev is being very dominant. He's very dominant. He's running the things. He's running the bar. He's running Spinlana. He's running V. He's taking in control. He's actually not acting like a dummy, a doorbell, a dumbbell. But Spinlana, she gets a blast from the past. One of her past whores coming in and was like, listen, you call me names. You said I was only good for sucking or giving hand jobs, but I live the American dream now. And here's your $4,200 you paid for me. And I'm this and I'm that. And look at you, you look like shit. And walks off. And Spinlana is doing an investigation on her because she wants to blow up the spot. She's trying to get some money because she's tired of it. And Kev and V got Spinlana covering up, that they're like bossing her around and things like that. Well, right now that's what she gets because she stole their bond. She wasn't trying to give it back, and basically changed it around and kicked him out of it. So right now she's suffering the consequences of that, and she's forced to wear a uniform and not show her tatas. And then she's feeling like, oh, woe is me right now at this time and point, but she's going to do something to get back at this whore, to get some money or something that she used to work, that used to work for her. So she is on a rampage to get money back. And she tells Kevin V, look, I brought this whore, because they was like, what are you doing on your laptop all day? Look, I smuggled this whore into America, and she's living in the American dream. She's about to marry this rich guy. She has this, she has that, and I have nothing, and you guys strip me of everything. You make me wear a uniform, and you talk to me like I'm crap. And so she's spilling that spill, but Spinlana got plans. She's gonna do something crazy. Spinlana's gonna do something crazy. It's going down. It's going down. So anyways, Lip goes back to the shop, and he's working on his bike, and Lip is realizing that he needs to focus on himself. And I'm glad that he got a new coach, sober coach or sobriety coach, that's actually making him focus on himself and his situation. And so Carl buys a ring for Cassidy to keep her calm or whatever, to let him know that he's gonna miss her, and she thinks it's a wedding ring. She was like, yes, I'll marry you. He was like, me marry me? And he was like, what? And so now Cassidy thinks that she is going to marry Carl. Why isn't this girl home? Because she keeps running away from home. So anyways, we'll find out what's going on. We gotta find out what's up with Liam in school and not being the only black kid anymore. And is Frank gonna go back to Liam's school? What is gonna be Frank's next hustle? And I wonder what's going to happen with Fiona and this dude Ford. What is he going to do? I hope he's not going to be an asshole, because she deserves some. Things are going right for her at this. Things are really going right for her right now. They're going right for Ian. Even though but he has a new cause to fight. And Carl, things are going right for Carl, but he just has this crazy girl right now. Things have fell apart for Frank. So does that mean there's going to be a domino effect, that things are going to fall apart for all of them slowly but surely with new people in their life? I hope not. Peace. I'm out. One love.